Hello, y'all. I thought that today would be a nice day to just relax and try some new makeup together. I have a bunch of stuff that I've been playing with. This isn't a first impressions video. And I am also just like extraordinarily tired. I have cramps and I need to kind of cheer myself up with a nice face of makeup. So today we're going to be playing with, well, Complexion I think is going to be pretty familiar to everyone. I don't think we have a new Complexion product. In kind of no particular order here, a lot of people have been asking me to actually demonstrate this on camera. I know we've been talking so much about Victoria Beckham lately, but there were people who were disappointed even in my Victoria Beckham video that I didn't demonstrate the Cocoa palette. I was demonstrating the Bordeaux palette and they're like, I want to see that one because I have like not shut up about it. So we will be applying that today. These came in the mail, like I ordered them, they finally arrived. So these are the new Estee Lauder Futurist Blush Maker Dewy Cheek Tints. I bought the shade Across the Dance Floor. Whoa, just kidding. Why do they all say Across the Dance Floor on the back of them? That's so odd. Well, where's the shade? Well, how strange is that? There's no shade name on here, no shade number on here, but they all say Across the Dance Floor? Is that one of the shades and they all just like ended up with that printed on them? That's bananas. I'll have to look into that when it's time to try them. But I do want to kind of use this lavender today and see how it goes. And so I want to integrate a little bit of lavender into the rest of the look. So I do have like a handful of lavender things here. One is Thrive sent over some of, I think they're like newer shades of their Brilliant Eye Brighteners, but this is not a new shade. This is Miko. And I think that this is going to be a really nice way to kind of like make the inner corner pop in like a surprising cool toned way. One of the only things that I bought like that's new, that wasn't a like a restock or a stock up kind of thing during the Sephora sale, is the new shade of the YSL Candy Glaze. This is in 21 and it's this kind of like peachy base with like cool toned reflects in it, and it's interesting. It's different than any of the candy glazes that I've had before. If that one doesn't end up being cool toned enough, I have a bunch here. And then y'all, Soshe came out with a new blush shade, and this is Bare Muse. Can you even? I have Rudy Berry. Congratulations on your new baby Rudy and Reed and baby Reed. I have Rudy's new lip liner stains. I've been using the Cherry Cola one constantly, so I'm going to attempt to include that today. And then I have a few of these Precision Sculpture Stylos from KJH brand. I have never used Katie Jane Hughes's brand on my channel, but they've been sending me a few things here and there, and I have not had the chance to actually feature them on my channel, so we will swatch them and we will try and use them. Yeah, this is a case of like, I don't know how this makeup look is going to end up because I haven't actually tried them all together yet, so if you enjoy seeing me troubleshoot a little bit, you'll probably get some of that as well. And I figure we can just kind of hang out and put on some makeup, so maybe you can put on your makeup alongside me. I know a lot of y'all like to do that, so let's go ahead and jump in. So even though this is my favorite one, I haven't used this very much lately. So I want to use the Lisa Eldridge Seamless Skin Enhancing Tint today. I have this in T2. And then I'm gonna go in with the Sarah Creel Face Flex Concealer. I have it in 3 different shades. I'll probably just kind of use all of them. Okay, so now we can start in with these Precision Sculpture Stylos from KJH brand. I know that Katie Jane Hughes started her brand a while ago. It's kind of a shame that this is the first time that I'm like talking about her stuff on my channel because I've heard such great things. So here we have Chisel right here. It's like this cool brown. And then there's this one that's a little bit relatively pinky. That one's called Etch. This one is the deepest one. That one's Engrave. And then this one is this just really beautiful kind of medium chocolate brown called Carve. Clearly all, you know, contour implication shade names. I think we're just gonna start with that like pale pinky bronzy one. And y'all know that this is definitely not my size of product. Usually I talked a little bit about that in my Victoria Beckham video. This is definitely a thing. Like, it's not like my opinion is the only opinion, but I am a fan of things going quickly, and I also am not like a huge fan of like drawing things directly onto my face and then blending them. And the precision, you know, I think from a makeup artist standpoint, anybody probably could make the argument that it's like, oh yeah, that's very useful. But for me, it just kind of uses a lot of product really quickly. And makes for a lot of work for me. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. It might not even like make enough of a visual impact for me to like wear only this product. It does blend really nicely though. It actually does remind me a lot of the Victoria Beckham ones in the sense that it's a little bit balmy, you know? Like it has a really nice blendable emollients to it, and that does lend itself really nicely to drawing directly on the skin. But I do find that, I don't know, I have like a fear. I have a fear of something going unblended when it's on my skin before I blend it, you know, instead of just pulling it off the bullet with the brush. And also I don't love like fussing something so much that I feel like I'm kind of wiping it away or wiping the makeup away that's underneath it. So I don't know, I'm just kind of like an impatient, get to the point kind of person about my makeup. Like I just want to get to the exciting parts, and for whatever reason, like contour is just something that feels a little bit more like a repetitive chore than other things in my makeup routine. But that did do a nice job. I don't typically like feel any need to, you know, super contour my nose, but I feel like that was a very effective nose contour, more so than usual. My nose is lopsided. People think I had a nose job because, or like, you know, they've said that to me in person, because like this side is so like carved out, but they're not both carved out. I had a huge zit there when I was a teenager. It like literally carved the cartilage out, and that's why that tip is so refined just on that side. Look at me. I also have like a divot in my chin for the same reason. Just massive pimple, just like made a permanent divot. I had such bad acne as a teenager. Plus I'm a picker. Y'all know I'm a picker. Okay, I feel like everything's kind of over blended, you know? It like went too far in some places. It's fine. I mean, that's fine. I definitely see the use case. I think that it functions really beautifully for what it is, and it's also very like beginner friendly in just the sense that like it's not going too far, but it is, you know, effective, and I do like that color a lot. I wish it was in like a huge like a Dior stick, you know what I mean? Like this size. Like this is still gonna be more cost effective. I wonder how my Dior compares to that color. So there's Dior in one light. That is Etch, and that is Chisel? Chisel. Yeah, so, you know, the two lighter shades. Very different from each other. The Dior almost looks gray by comparison. It's much lighter. This one's like almost a blush color. It just goes to show that, you know, you can contour with many things. It's just about it being cooler relative to what it's sitting next to, or even just less saturated next to what it's sitting next to. See, look, I have this like unblended line here. That is my biggest fear when I'm doing stuff like that. It's just having this like unblended line staring at you. I'm so paranoid. Okay, yeah, that's not my chosen way. And I mean, yeah, I could pull it off the little bullet with my brush, but like, good grief, you know what I mean? I just don't feel like that's what it wants to do. Before we put on bronzer, I want to show you this new shade from Soshe. So if you are unfamiliar as of yet with my obsession, the Soshe blushes have the most unbelievable texture to them. I have all the shades. I think they're all up here, but regardless, like this is the one I wear a lot. This one is called Copper Spice, and it is just the most velveteen. Like, I know that we all think we've felt a putty blush before, but this is just the softest thing you've ever felt, and it goes on so evenly, so smoothly, but like it definitely packs a pigment, but it definitely picks a pickled peppers. It packs a pigment punch. This is Bare Muse. These are on their website as well as Credo. They might be a couple like Blue Mercuries. I'm not sure, but I know that they're at Credo. And I mean, this texture, it's like hard for me to show you, but like it's so unbelievably blurring that I always say that it like removes my identity. Like you can't see the grooves in my finger because it's so smooth. It's nuts. It's awesome stuff. So I'm gonna start in with this because I feel like if I apply it after bronzer, you're not really gonna see it. The thing that I always say about this texture in particular is that like, it doesn't really matter what you apply it with. You could apply it with a slice of American cheese and like it would blend itself. It's like you could use a powder brush or a cream brush or whatever. I'm gonna grab another one of the BK 109 here, and this is just a smaller version of their 101, and that is what we will use this with. Just grabbing a little on the brush here. This, I mean, like I said, this might not be the most ideal brush for it in the world, but you could apply it with literally anything. I could use a sponge, I could use my fingers, I could use a bigger brush, I could use just a regular powder brush. But I like this because it goes on kind of slowly. If you use a powder brush, it will pick up quite a bit. But it makes just such a natural looking flush. And for it being so beige on my skin, it does still kind of come off warmer than that, you know? I think that, you know, my skin shows through it, obviously. You know, that could, being this like pinky color, if you have more of like a medium olive undertone, I could see this kind of going a little too beige on you, you know? But it isn't that far off, I would say, from like the Farah Hamidi bronzer that a lot of pale olives really like. In fact, after I put this on, I'm gonna grab that and we can swatch, because that's just such an uncommon color. Most comparable, I think, to Inner Glow from Kjaer Weis, which again, I need to get my hands back on. There are so many things that I've gotten to this point in my career, in my collection, where I need to like replace things, because it's like I still want to have them, but they're like expired as heck and I got rid of them, kind of thing. And you think when you have them in your hand, like, oh, you know, I'm gonna get rid of this, no one really like talks about this anymore or whatever. But then for my particular line of work, we're always talking about color, not just like the newness of a product or whatever. And sometimes having something that's just in a really uncommon color, talking about it isn't enough. You have to have it on hand to swatch it. So I feel kind of like I'm not really fulfilling my end of the bargain if I don't have the things that I'm talking about all the time. Oh my God, though. Get real, right? It looks amazing in person. It really does. It looks so super blurred. I'm gonna grab that Farah Hamidi bronzer. The issue that I have with the Farah Hamidi bronzer is not the color or the formula, it's just that it has a massive amount of mica in it, and I feel like that precludes certain people from being able to use it who might otherwise. There are obviously other shades in it, and I don't know if all the shades have this amount of mica in them, but like when I put this on my face, I just noticed how it shifts gray. Do you see the shine on it is quite cool? And it's because mica is one color. It's kind of a silvery, pewtery gray color. And so while this is an absolutely beautiful shade of bronzer, I don't want to tell people to go buy it, because it's like, I feel like it still shifts gray no matter what. So I did discover that there is a Mob Beauty bronzer, I believe M36, that is pretty much the same color as this without the shimmer, but that is the new Bare Muse from Soshe next to it. So it's pinker, you know, it's pinker and, well, peacher and warmer. And like this is still, you know, more uncommon in the sense that it's just so cool and so desaturated. We're gonna wait on putting on bronzer again, because I want to kind of play with these liquid blushes from Estee Lauder. I'm gonna swatch all three of them. I think I'm gonna apply two of them. I'm gonna go with like a brown and a lavender, I think, but I bought three, so let's swatch three. It's so funny though about Katie Jane Hughes. I was at Fashion Week, spring 2020, no, fall 2024. I was going to a Shop My Shelf event and I was in the elevator and I saw Katie Jane Hughes, and I did what any normal person would do, and I went, oh, Katie Jane Hughes! And she like looked at me and I was like, suddenly realized she would have no idea who I am. It was really awkward and embarrassing. She was really nice though, like so nice about it. I was like, oh, I'm Khaki from YouTube. And she's like, okay. I was like, okay. Awesome. Great job, me. I'm so good at interacting with humans in real life. Okay, so I don't know the shade names. I'm so still confused about the Across the Dance Floor thing. Let me look at the shade names actually, because I want to know if there is one called Across the Dance Floor and then they all just got printed with that by accident. Yes. Yes, there is a bright pink called Across the Dance Floor, except they all got printed to say Across the Dance Floor no matter what shade you got. So none of these is actually the shade Across the Dance Floor, but they all say it on the back of them. That's so funny. Okay, so what I actually got is Meet Cute, Stolen Glance, and Skinny Dip. But they all say Across the Dance Floor on the back of them. That is hilarious. That's a little oopsie. It's a little oopsie from Estee Lauder. I ordered this straight from Estee Lauder, okay? I didn't get some kind of like Amazon knockoffs or something. Okay, so since we're gonna be having some contrast, like with the Victoria Beckham palette, I want to start with Skinny Dip. I think that's what this one's called. And yeah, it's this kind of deeper brown color. I'm not gonna use too much, but that still looks like, yeah, they're really pigmented. And the other thing about these is they were advertised as being shimmery, at least on like Trend Mood and stuff, and there's no shimmer in there, which I'm happy about, but like that was my main concern, and also my biggest curiosity was like, oh, they're gonna be shimmery, and they're not shimmery at all. I don't know, maybe I got like a really weird like reject bunch where there's just like, there's no shimmer and they're all called across the dance floor. We'll just send those to khaki. Anyway, they're really unbelievably beautiful. Look at that. Oh, I'm going to put on decidedly too much blush today, but like, can't you even with the sunburn shade of that color? It's absurd. It's just such a fantastic brown. Such Fjord's Cheeks for me. Like this might be my new Fjord's Cheeks color. Cause like you see how I can bring it down, it like makes the boyfriend blush thing happen. Oh, it's so nice. I'll do a little on my forehead here. And it's probably going to not really work as well in real life as it is in my head right now to have these little touches of lavender throughout this, but that's why we play the game. I forgot to say this because it's not particularly new. It might be a new shade, I'm not sure, but I got this in gifting from Rare Beauty. This is their liquid luminizer in Enchant, and it is like right up there in that like medium ballerina pinky lavender sort of color. I don't think that it's a new shade. I think it's just new to me. All right, I haven't used this shade yet. Meet Cute. It is that lavendery pink kind of color that's a lot of blushes, you know, it's that Dior 001 pink kind of thing. And it actually is that instead of what I thought was gonna be that, which was the new one from Glow Recipe, remember? And I was just like, oh my God, it's actually just like school supply highlighter pink, like neon. This is beautiful. I need more. That's gorgeous. It doesn't pack as much of a punch, you know? Kind of like when I was mixing the toner for Alex's hair recently. I was like going from, you know, just bleach blonde to like white. I wanted it to be white. And I actually put a lot of pink in it in order to make like a pinky lavender shade to cancel out the tones in his hair. But pink just, at least the pale pink that I had was already so diluted that it didn't really like, I had to use a lot of it in order to achieve the lavender. Oh, but that really like richened it, and you can really see the coolness, and I feel like it pulls out the coolness in my lips too. And they layer pretty well together. I saw it kind of try to pick itself back up a little bit when I was layering it, so just be wary of that. I think that all serum blushes are gonna do that. They kind of solve themselves, you know what I mean, when you kind of touch it back on top. But this is always my tool of choice for that kind of thing. This is the BK112, or any brush that's shaped like this. It's really loose, like very loose bristles, long, angled, fluffy, synthetic, like very, very good for that kind of product. For a serum blush, because if you try and use a sponge, it's gonna kind of soak the moisture up into the sponge and be dry on the surface, and it will then stamp and pick your makeup up, which it does not do you any favors, and it doesn't do the product any favors either. I'm not saying that we should always be making exceptions for every product, but like I will just say like a sponge is an incredibly ineffective tool for this kind of formula. I'm feeling so freaking pretty. You know, these serum blushes and then also the Soshe blush that has that beautiful texture to it, everything about it is just lending itself to like blur, 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 and then bringing back the skin texture on the cheeks. It's just a really healthy looking thing. It's gorgeous. It looks so hydrated. Okay, this is the one we've all been waiting for, right? I mean, not me, because I've been using it like every day of my life, but the Victoria Beckham Cocoa Quad. Of all of her quads, this is the first one that she has put out where I'm like, you know what I mean? Like I can really use this. And lately, you know, I was using all of my normal synthetic brushes, but Refer just sent me a bunch of new brushes, and I forgot what a game changer a natural bristle brush is, and their stuff is so inexpensive. This right here is the Refer 27 brush, and it looks like too big to do anything, right? But no, it's going to make your makeup, your eyeshadow, like go on so fast, and I'm so impatient. I have here the color, that is in the biggest pan. It's like this beautiful, like easy to wear kind of like warm gold. And I will just put that everywhere, almost everywhere. Mainly just kind of in this triangle right here, you know, right to there. And this brush just diffuses the product so beautifully. Natural bristles pick up more product and they lay more product down. And so I find that when I use a synthetic brush with these shadows, it's harder to blend. And like this is much easier to blend. I'll just swatch it for you real quick so you can see the colors. And it's just such an intuitive palette as far as I'm concerned, just the way that it's set up. Like you have the differences in texture, the differences in temperature, the differences in depth that I think make for not just one really beautiful eye look, but like intuitively many different eye looks. And her other ones aren't bad. They just have never been the right combination of undertones and the right combination of like depth for me. They tend to be very, very high contrast, you know, like they'll have like a black and a white in them, or they'll have like really deep, cool blues in them or something. And what that is it's just not for me. This doesn't mean it's bad, it's just not for me, and this one's finally for me. And do you see how it just fluffs with this brush? It's bananas. Like, you would think that something like this is like so imprecise it would just get everywhere, but there's something about it having a point on it, like this tiny little bit of a point, that makes all the difference in the world in terms of having control over where it's going but blending the edges the whole time. And it's, I mean, it's stupid fast. I also really like this one. I've used this one a lot. You can tell because you know, it's got a lot of product in it, but this is the O2 brush. It's like, again, you would never think that something that like looks kind of just, you know, imprecise, that would be great for blending your eyeliner, but that's the beauty of it, is that it is imprecise. And so it makes a blurred line that is still controlled, because it does actually come to a nice little point right there, but it kind of just blurs the edges in this really beautiful way that's very flattering for those of us who could use all the blur we can get, you know? I'm not even dipping to get more product. I'm just blending what's there. And it's just, it's so soft too. I feel like sometimes with synthetic brushes, there's nothing against synthetic brushes, they all serve a purpose. But with synthetic brushes, I kind of feel like I'm pushing my eye around a lot, you know? It's like, I feel like I'm kind of dragging against my skin, and this is just like, my skin doesn't move. This just sort of moves on top of the skin in a nice way. Okay, I'm going to take a little of the very dark brown here. Boop, 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 boop. I'm touching so lightly. Do you see how it just kind of like diffuses the color out in such a beautiful way without blending it all the way away? And I think that, you know, it's like, you can pay a fortune for brushes. They might be having a Black Friday sale, I'm not sure, but you know, most of their brushes are like $11, $12. I'm not totally sure about these, but yeah, Reffer is really out here making these things very accessible, very high quality things, very accessible. I'm going to use the same stinking brush. I have a ton of these sitting here, and I will use the smaller ones in a second, but like, I wanted to show you, you can use the dark brown. I mean, not the dark brown, the shimmer brown right there. And it also just wafts onto the lid like that. I mean, it's effortless, especially if you're like a makeup artist. Oh my God. To be able to have a tool, and I say this like I invented this. I hate when people do that. Where they're like, I just discovered this product, therefore I'm going to talk about it like I invented it. It's like, no, I want to humble myself before the tools gods here and say like, wow, where the hell have I been? I can only imagine as a makeup artist how much you must love a really high quality natural bristle brush, because it doesn't like tug at your client's skin. There's like so much less discomfort. So synthetic brushes are fine for what they do, but this is an exquisite feeling of putting on these products. So I'm going to take this adorable little one that I've had for a long time, the 13, and I'm gonna grab, you know, a series of the same colors here. Gonna go in with the brown, get a little more precision here. Is this not just the prettiest little palette though? I'm gonna use that a little bit right there and kind of get some warmth into the lid. It just makes you feel like your skills are better than they are. You know? Like, wow, that really did exactly what I thought it was going to do. I must be really good at this. Yeah, and also tools really matter. People ask me to do videos on like my favorite brushes and stuff all the time, and no one watches those videos. No one watches them. Oh, God, that's beautiful. So I'm just kind of going in with the smaller brush and adding intensity, like with that dark shade. And it's like I have the patience to do that because I didn't spend so much time getting the makeup on in the first place. You know, sometimes your eye makeup is just like the most intimidating process in the morning. You're like, come on. I can take the bigger one and just blend those edges while keeping the concentration of that depth right there. And you know, because we're here, I'll take a little bit of the shimmery, the bedroomized brown. I'm gonna go right underneath my eye with that. And I'll take my finger too and grab just a little bit of it and really build the texture up on the lid so that you can see what it's capable of. See how kind of like sexy, moody, shimmery that gets? But it's not spangly. It just has a lot of sheen to it. So, like I said, you know, at the risk of everything going sideways here. I want to swatch the eyeshadow sticks that Thrive sent over, because I think some of these shades are new, but not all of them, and then we can decide what color I want as part of this look. I didn't realize I redid my nails, and like they're kind of an inspiration for this too. They're kind of a pink, but they shift a little bit blue in the light. Okay, so that's, I love how I just like threw them down when I was done. This is Miko. This is the one that I want to use on my inner corner because it's got that little bit of like cool tonedness to it, and it's gonna like brighten the inner eye, but also it's gonna show up pink, and I kind of want that. I want it to be a little bit weird looking. And then we have Madeline, Elena right here, and then that very purpley one is called Carrie. So they're always named after, you know, powerful women in Carissa's life, hence me having a lip gloss and a lip liner named after me. That's why I have that cool plaque back there. It's one of my favorite achievements, okay? But yeah, I think we're gonna go with Miko, even though Miko is like not new at all. Yeah, it's like very similar to my nails. Look at that. Oh my gosh, wow. I don't even realize sometimes that like my inspiration, like it's already there before I kind of even acknowledge it. I'm like, oh wow, I didn't realize I was like drawn to that color. By the way, this shade on my nails is called Candy Crush. It's a wave gel shade. I've been wearing it for years. The Brilliant Eye Brighteners are fantastic, slightly shimmery eyeshadow sticks that wear a really, really long time. I tend to kind of forget about them. There are a zillion of them. But yeah, do you see the kind of like nice little pink shift there on the inner corner now? I love that. Let's go with this Rare Beauty highlighter and see if it kind of like brings a little bit more of the coolness to the cheeks here. So again, this is the shade Enchant. I think I want to apply it with the 112. I'm gonna do a little up here as well. Probably could have just used Miko, but that's really pretty. It's a little unnatural in a good way, you know? That's nice. I think that my vision is kind of coming together. This is wild for me. So I'm gonna do eyeliner and mascara and brows, and then we'll come back and figure out what the heck I wanna do with my lips. Swatch the lip liner stains that Rudy just came out with Bugle. All right, so there is cherry cola and raspberry jam for you. And raspberry jam, it's not, I mean, it's definitely cool toned enough to work on me, but that's going to turn, like everything turns really vivid pink on me. And so I want to go towards the brown. I've been using the cherry cola a lot. And while it is high contrast on me, I do feel like it's very flattering. So it's on this little brush tip, and we'll just see what we can get out of it here. It's just so much easier to work with than one of those like lip stain things that you have to like peel off. So there is like, you know, essentially kind of permanent for the day lip liner stain. I think I want to try first and foremost the new YSL Candy Glaze and see if it kind of gives me enough that I can wear it alone. Look at how sparkly it is. It's crazy. It's so frosted. It doesn't feel like a regular candy glaze. Like, I kind of don't love how much you can feel the glitter in it. It doesn't have the same like super hydrated unctuousness that you get from a regular candy glaze, and it doesn't quite have enough pigment in it to hold up to this look, you know? I want to see what happens if I use a little bit more of Rudy's stuff, because it's like very high contrast. So like, what happens if I just kind of overall darken my lips a little bit and then apply it on top. Because it is a lip stain. It's not necessarily a lip liner stain, I don't think. Yeah, they just call it a lip stain, so you can apply it however you damn well please, right? Yeah, I kind of like applied a little with my finger and I think it made it a little bit more even. And now I'm gonna go in with the Valentino. This stuff is not new, but it does seem to be the right thing for this look. And I do like it better. Yeah, I like it better than the Candy Glaze. I think that the Candy Glaze suffers from the same thing that the glittery Serum lip balms do, which is just that you lose so much of the satisfaction of that formula because the glitter is just so present. Yeah, I think I like that. You know, we didn't powder at all. I think that we do need a little tiny bit of powder just because everything is quite dewy. I really like it, y'all. I love this look. It's just a little bit different for me, but it's exciting. So let's talk final thoughts on the products that were new today. Okay, KJH brand. I'm gonna see how much these are real quick, and that'll really help me decide whether I think that they're like remarkable and worth it, you know? $24. Let me compare that to one of the like Make Beauty Stylos, 0.57 grams. And this has 0.55 grams. So it's like right there in line, pound for pound, with the Make Beauty one that we all criticized for having very little product in it. And so yeah, I don't think that it's like, you know, highway robbery or anything like that, but it's interesting when you start thinking about this kind of product alongside either an eyeshadow stick, which is going to be a little more cost effective probably for the amount of product, versus a contour stick that's going to be a lot more cost effective in terms of pound for pound. And then also thinking about it against something like a Rhode lip liner, right? Which is gonna probably be right in line with it pound for pound. So it's like, it depends on what you consider this product to be. And also the packaging being very minimal. I think that a lot of people would find that appealing. It's also easy to find in your collection, but it is light, light, light. Feels kind of like drugstore, you know? Yeah. I mean, it's kind of neither here nor there. Like, it's good that it exists. I'm sure that someone loves it, but I don't think it's a run do not walk situation. Next, talking about the new beige blush shade from Soshe, Bare Muse. I think that it's really lovely. I mean, it's just a very, very good beige shade, especially for me. I think that, you know, like the Far Hamidi bronzer is a great color. It really is. I'm glad that it exists. I'm glad that the Mob Beauty one, M36, also exists for that same reason. I think it's very, very useful. This, I just want to say, you know, this is not a bronzer necessarily. You know, actually, let's swatch it against Gucci. That's the Gucci bronzer, so it's grayer. And then this is the Soshe Bare Muse. Bare Muse is still peacher, but I feel like they do have like a very similar customer in mind. I am definitely that customer. I just think it's really, really beautiful. And even if this shade doesn't necessarily appeal to you, it is a really fantastic addition to their bouquet of shades that they already have in this unbelievably lovely formula. So I'm a huge fan. I still can't get over the fact that the Estee Lauder blushes all say that they're the same color, and it's not even like a normal sounding, it's like the fact that they all say across the dance floor on the back of them makes it feel like there's some kind of like mission statement on them, like wear these blushes when you're on the across the dance floor. Like what, in 2025? Yeah, so Meet Cute, Skinny Dip, and I already forgot whatever the beige one is. But yeah, they're really, really lovely. As far as serum blushes are concerned, these have a little bit more like white opacity behind them, at least kind of the paler shades, than the ones that have come out from like Glow Recipe or something like that. But in terms of serum blushes, I have yet to really be like super annoyed by one. They're all really gorgeous. I really like the finish that this leaves on the skin. I think that I'm making it sound like, oh, they're not special because there are other things out there like this, but like they're not exorbitantly expensive. They are very interesting colors and they still really excite me for the finish that they leave on the skin. I do. I feel really, really like healthy looking. I think that if one of these colors really appeals to you, then I can highly recommend the formula. It's not unlike all the other serum blushes that I really love. The ABH, the MAC, the Glow Recipe, like they're all fantastic. I hope that y'all really got a chance to see this in action now, especially with those brushes. Like I just feel like it was just the easiest thing in the world. This is such an incredible everyday palette for me, the Cocoa palette from Victoria Beckham. And now I feel like, oh, I can really experience the genius of these because these colors work so incredibly well on my skin. I've been wearing this every day almost since I got it, unless I'm just, you know, demonstrating a different product. I really like the Bordeaux one too, but like this is me, you know, like give me the browns, give me the browns. This is really brilliant work on Victoria's part. So yeah, I hope that, again, like I think that I've already told you how much I love this. I don't think anyone's surprised that it's getting a positive review from me, but I hope you understand kind of like, for as simple of a concept as this is, how special it is to be such like a tight concept. Like it's very, very, very well executed. It's not as common as you would think. I've been wearing Rudy's lip stain all the time. It's definitely high contrast, and it's obviously it's a stain that's like not always the easiest thing in the world to control, but I feel like for the market, for the people who really, really love a lip line that is a stain that really like stays there all day, you really have very few options. You have like these markers that, again, like once they're down, they're down. It's like, uh-oh, what do I do? And a lot of the colors aren't that nuanced. Lip stains in general tend to be quite red, and this being brown makes a huge difference. And also the other option seems to be, you know, the ones that you have to kind of leave on your lips for like 15 minutes looking a little bit weird, and then, you know, peel it off after you're done doing your makeup and hope for the best. But it's like, if it's not in the right place or whatever, there's no blending, there's no like option to kind of adjust or anything like that. And this is lower stakes, you know, and I think that the color is really beautiful. And for it not being like the easiest thing in the world to use, because a stain in general is kind of high stakes, it is the easiest of this format that I have found, you know? And I think the color is really brilliant. This is probably a pretty valuable review for y'all, for me to pan this, because it's like, I love candy glazes and I'm usually willing to make infinite room for them in my stash, but the glitter kind of ruins it. The glitter kind of ruins it. Yeah. Y'all, I hope that this was fun. Again, I just wanted to like, I had all this makeup sitting here that I've been meaning to share with y'all, and I know that it is such a random smattering of things, but they were all things that I've been using off camera. And I was like, well, I don't really have any tighter concept to share other than like, I'm going to put all this makeup on my face all at once right now and try and make a look from it. So every once in a while, I hope you appreciate a video like that. The next one is going to be, and I'm actually really excited to kind of start this series, the next video is going to be like, are these cult favorite, cult classic products worth it? And I collected a ton of stuff that like has a really, really long-standing reputation in the makeup world, and I'm kind of going through each one and saying whether I think they've stood the test of time or whether they've been like surpassed by other products since their original popularity. And I hope to make it a series on my channel because it's really fun to do, and it's also very just like, I feel like useful and educational for me. It's just a really good thought exercise for me. So anyway, stay tuned for that. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you like the video, please make it official, like the video, give it a thumbs up, hype it if you're on mobile, and I will put a video up here that I think y'all will enjoy if you liked this one. Thank you so much for being here, for hanging out with me today on this very low-key day, and I will see y'all in the next one.